Remember I made this video about 4 months ago? Well, unfortunately guys, I didn't make it past 6 months. I've already officially resigned from my job, and today is actually the second day of my unemployment. So if you guys have been following my channel and my journey, you know that I have been struggling with this bank job for quite a while now, and quitting has been on my mind for a long time now. And I kept telling myself to hang on, to just bear with it for now, because things will get better, you will improve, and it's not every day you have a terrible day at the bank. I keep convincing myself that this is the case, but recently something happened, and I believe it's just time to call it a day. So for those who does not know my story, basically I'll just summarize a little bit. So I'm actually working in a bank, taking a sales role, which mainly focuses on selling insurance and investments. So it's really difficult to sell, I can tell you that, because the product itself is really terrible. Most people won't want to buy it. It's expensive, it's long term, and most people don't really understand it. So yeah, people just shy away from the product once you actually pitch. Some even just reject you up front without even listening to what you have to say. So it's really difficult to sell. And to make it worse, I have never taken a sales role. This is my first ever official job after graduation, and I don't know how to sell at all. And what made it worse is that there was no team head, because my team head actually left the job on my second week of joining the bank. She also tendered in her resignation and she went elsewhere. So for the next 6-7 months, I did not have a team head. There was one time where a team head was hired, but she was eventually counter offered and she went for the competitor. So yeah, 6 to 7 months, no team head, no leadership, no guidance, no support. Meanwhile, my friend on the other hand, who works in another bank in another city, has such a supportive team head, 20 years experience, a certified financial planner, and she helped him so much. So basically what my friend needs to do is just to do the cold calls and make the appointments, and his team head will settle the rest. The team head will pitch the product for him, will handle the objections for him, and close the case for him. And once the case has been closed, she will give him the sales. And because of this, within his first month of eligible to sell, he was able to reach a revenue of 100,000 insurance revenue, and he became the top performer of the branch for that month by exceeding sales target by 700% as a newbie, by the way. And because of this, he actually got his first ever commission of 1,000 ringgit, and he was on his way to being confirmed. Me on the other hand, worked in the bank for 4 to 5 months, never hit my target, never got the commission, and I was never confirmed. Even until the last day where I tendered in my resignation, I was never confirmed. So I would tell to myself, damn, if I had a team head, things would be so much different. I don't have to suffer, I don't have to struggle. I would be able to thrive like him if I had a team head. So I was really looking forward to having a team. Well, fast forward 2 months ago, my team head finally joined. She landed around February, and yeah, I was really happy that I finally got a team head. I was excited. I thought that, this is going to be a start of a new beginning. We're going to see better days ahead. We're going to have better guidance, better support, better leadership. We're going to build more motivation. We're going to build more confidence in the future. We're going to have a lot of sales under her guidance. And I was even more confident after I see her portfolio, because my team head was also a 20-year experienced banker. She was a previous relationship manager and a previous client advisor for private bank customers. So she also has won a lot of bancassurance awards during her career. So obviously she's really good at what she does. So when I saw her portfolio, I was really impressed, and I was really relieved that we finally onboarded someone who can really guide us. So on the first day of her employment, she came to me and she asked me a lot of things. We interacted and I shared a lot of my challenges, our concerns, the issues we are facing right now in the bank. I shared everything to her because I honestly I really wanted her to know the situation so that she can help us in a better way. So I shared everything with her, and then after that, after her hearing everything I said, she said, "Okay, okay, I'll work something out. Just let me go through my 2 weeks training, and after that, we will discuss something." So okay, I'll just wait. I just let her complete her onboarding process before pressuring her too much. And then afterwards, we do have a lot of meetings, we do have a lot of discussions, and to be honest, the more discussions we had, the more I felt like she's probably not going to be of much help. So basically, in all these meetings, she basically just said like the same thing. Like she basically just repeat what the top management said to her, and she just come back to us with what they say. So basically, she's saying things like, "Oh, we're actually the lowest performing branch, we're the worst performing branch in the region, and last month we actually broke the record low sales ever since the branch opened, and there was one time where 2 weeks into the month and everyone is at zero. 5% of bankers all at 0%. She said management is looking into this. It's very crucial for us. We need to do something. We cannot be zero." And she kept mentioning how our KPI is her KPI. So if we are able to sell and perform, then she gets to stay. Otherwise, she cannot get to stay as well because she's also on probation. So at that point, I found out that she's probably more desperate than us, and she probably does not know how to save our situation. We asked her for solutions. The solutions that she give are, "Oh, just go and make more cold calls, approach every walk-in, and if you have to, approach your friends and family members and get them to support you." That is like the most general and the most useless advice in sales getting. And I was honestly not expecting this from a 20 years experienced banker. I was expecting her to like give more valuable solutions. So at that point, I was like a bit disappointed because I don't think she will be as good as my friend's team lead. And moving forward, there was one time I actually had an appointment, and it was from a very solid banker prospect, and I think he's going to buy. So I actually approached my team head and asked if she could join sales with me, and we can see what happens. And the reason why I want to ask her is because I trust in her. I saw that her portfolio is so nice, 20 years experience, previous relationship manager, previous client advisor. I think that she's really professional. I really wanted to learn from her. I want to learn from the master herself. That is why I asked her to join sales. I told her I'm good at the product pitching. I can pitch the product no problem, but I'm having a little bit issues in closing sales. So I want you to probably just join sales with me and see if we can make something better and I can learn from you. So I brought that up to her, and immediately I saw the hesitant and reluctant look on her face. So she did not say no. She said yes, okay, I'll be there. But eventually she did not actually make it. She said she had a meeting with the upper management, so she did not make it to my appointment. In the end, I had to get another colleague to help me. The place was eventually closed, but it was cancelled later. That's a different story. The main point is my team head, did not help me at all. So she did not help me. That's okay. But in the next meeting, she brought up something really, really uncomfortable. She said, "Oh, actually, I don't really like to join sales. You know why? Because customers do not like it either. Customers do not like it when there's a third party standing beside them. They will feel that their privacy has been breached. They'll feel uncomfortable, they'll feel uneasy, they'll feel stressed, and they might not want to disclose a lot. In worst case, they might even file a complaint saying that there's someone else there interfering with the conversation." I was like, what? Since when was this a problem? Because joining sales is kind of a very common culture. Ever since I started the bank, I have a lot of joint sales with my insurance managers. I had joint sales with my colleagues. Even my friend in the other bank, he had joint sales with his team head all the time. It has never been an issue. Why does she bring this up as if it's an issue? It gave me the impression that she's just making excuses because she's not confident in closing the sale and pitching, and that's why she's coming out with these excuses to justify why she does not want to join sales. And then she further actually justified that she's actually really, really busy. She has a lot of meetings with the upper management. She has a lot of segments to take care of. She has 3 branches that she needs to take care of. She is really bogged down. She has a lot on her plate, and she does not really have time for us. So she told us that we need to be independent and rely on ourselves. And if you really need assistance, go and ask the other bankers from other branches who has good sales performance. Ask them how they do it. Ask for advice and tips from them. And in the worst case scenario, ask ChatGPT. The moment she said ask ChatGPT, I was really speechless. So this is what a 20 years experienced banker has to offer. So the bank, the top management hired you, get you on board so that you tell us to use ChatGPT. So what is the point of you coming into the bank in the first place? The bank got you in so that you can bring fresh solutions. You can save us. They can get us out of this really crucial situation and get more sales. But no, you're not doing that. You're telling us to use ChatGPT. Then I don't think there's even the reason for you to be here. It's at this point I was like really disappointed in her already. But you know what is the last straw? You know what was the hay that broke the camel's back? It's one random day, one random office day, she suddenly come to my desk. Specifically my desk, nobody else's desk, only my desk. And she came here, asked a few questions, and she sat down. I know something is definitely up. So she sat down, she asked me one question. How long have you been here? I said, 6 months. And then she said, okay, 6 months. Okay, you have seen your performance, right? What do you think about your performance? Do you like your performance? Are you satisfied with it? I told her no. And then she proceeded to say, yeah, you also not satisfied. If I were in your position, if I were you, I would also be very disappointed in my own performance, and I would start to question myself whether or not I'm suitable for this role. Honestly, she is definitely hinting me, maybe I should call it a day, maybe I should quit and find another job. She is definitely hinting something. I am definitely on the manager's radar for underperformance. But you know what hurts really much is that she said this a week after my first case in 3 months got cancelled. I told you guys I closed the case and it got cancelled like within a few days. I actually put in the effort to find the customer and close the sale. But she said it in a way as if I have not done anything in 6 months and I've been just sitting in the bank and taking the bank's salary without actually contributing. When in actual fact, she knows that I closed the case and it was cancelled by the customer. But she did not empathize on it. She just said it in a way as if I did nothing at all. I did not put in any effort, and that is what hurts me the most. And then she continued to say things like, do you know that the salary that you're receiving right now is much higher than any fresh graduate out there? Other companies are not able to offer you that high of a salary, so only the bank can offer you that much. So since the bank is really offering you this much salary, you should contribute. And once again highlighting that I'm not performing and not doing anything, but every single day I am dealing with all these rude customers, these Karens that will shout at you and disrespect you for no reason, and that I have to deal with all the paperwork and all the slow system that lags and doesn't respond constantly. I need to deal with all the compliance procedure that is so slow, so complicated, and it takes hours to actually complete. I have to deal with all these things, and sometimes I need to stay back at the office until 7 or 8 p.m. when in actual fact I'm supposed to leave at 5:30, and you tell me I'm not doing anything just because I don't have sales. That was really hurtful, you know what? And she further said that, aren't you not scared? Are you not scared of being unemployed? Are you not scared of losing your income? She kept gaslighting and giving me all these passive aggressive questions, and it was at that moment, you know what, I completely died. My fire, my motivation for the role has completely died. It's no longer a question of how am I going to sell, I cannot sell, I don't know how to sell. It's basically just I don't want to sell. That's it. I don't want to sell. I'm not even putting in the effort to think like, oh, my team manager said this to me, what am I going to do to get more sales? What am I going to do next month to boost up my performance so that I actually can stay in this job? It was none of that. At that very moment, when she gave me those words, my heart died. The fire in me has completely gone off and there was no hope of reigniting it. I just did not want to do that job anymore. It was pointless. At that point, when you don't want to sell anymore, there's really no point for you to stay in that job any longer. So I could have stayed for at least another 3 more months to make it a year that I'm in a job. But unfortunately, in those kind of situation, there's no way I'm going to be able to stay for another 3 more months, because if the next 1 or 2 months I'm still zero, they're probably just going to fire me anyways. So might as well just leave when I still can. So yeah, it was at that point that I was completely tired of the job. I really do not want to do the job anymore. Yes, maybe I'm just not suitable, but another perspective is that I really don't see the hope in this job. From the day one, I was clueless. I do not have direction. I do not have the knowledge. I do not have the skills. I do not have the courage to sell. There were no guidance and no support at all. And when finally somebody that I think will bring hope to the branch came, and eventually it turns out that she's not helpful, she has no solutions, she is as desperate as us, and she was hired not to save us but to join the sinking ship together with us. It's at that point I know that there's really no point staying. I will go nowhere. Even if I stay for 3 more months, nothing's gonna improve if that is her leadership style. If I'm still under her for the next 6 months to a year, forget it. There will be no progress at all. And it was at that moment I decided, you know what, it's time to call it a day. I did not like this job in the first place. I took it just because I wanted to have some money, because the business was not doing well, and I wanted to have some savings, some money, some experience, and I wanted to use my degree. That's why I took the job, even though I initially rejected it. But out of desperation, I retook and reconsidered the job a few months later, and I did it, and it was still not what I wanted to do. So yeah, so I just quit like that. So moving forward, what am I gonna do? I honestly haven't decided yet, because I left without a backup plan. I left without a job lineup. That's how terrible the job is, by the way. If you have to leave a job without having something lined up, you know that the job is very terrible. Finding a job is not easy, right? So if I wait until I have a solid offer before leaving, I will not be able to leave. And that is why I just made a decision to leave without having anything lined up. What's next? I really don't know, but banking is definitely out of the picture. I'm not going to be getting a banking job anytime soon. Sales, I don't think I'm good for sales either, but if it's non-bank sales, I might consider. I don't know. All I do know is that the next job I'm going to get is definitely going to be in Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. Not in my current city. I don't want to be here. I want to live in a big city. I love big cities since a very young age, and I love to be alone in this nice city, alone in my own room. I mean, being in my hometown is nice. I live with my parents. I don't have a lot of costs. It's much more chill, much more laid back. But ironically, I don't like it. I really want to go out and risk. I want to go out of my comfort zone. I want to go and explore and go and see the world. And that's why Kuala Lumpur is the place to be. And for the next job, not sure what it's going to be, but I'm very sure that whatever it is, it has to be a job that suits me. It has to be a job that I can do, because the next job, I'm aiming to stay for at least 2 to 3 years. I did not survive a year in this job already. So if the next job I took, I still cannot pass for a year, that would look really, really terrible on my resume, and I don't want that. So for my next job, it has to be something good. It has to be something that I can do and I can enjoy. I don't dread waking up doing it, and stay for 2-3 years, learn, develop, and grow. That is the game plan. So for right now, I'll just keep aggressively applying to jobs on JobStreet, LinkedIn, and see what lands. And then don't be too desperate on accepting any jobs, even the jobs that you know are clear red flags, even jobs that have too low salary that's beyond survival rate. Pick something that has a decent salary, preferably much higher than what I'm getting now, and the job scope needs to be tolerable. So that's my plan going forward, and I'll continue updating you guys on the journey. For now, thank you guys for listening to my story, and I'll see you in the next video.